So today we're gonna be covering JJK Cursed Clash. You read title, which thumbnail. It's not that bad of a game. Obviously, a lot of the reviews have been negative, and by negative I mean very negative. But before we get into that, I'll let Daniel tell you, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you guys feel about Curse Clash so far if you've played it. Tell us who you're maining. Also, let us know what anime you want the next fighting game to be of.
All right, so we're gonna go rapid fire over the co-op story mode. Daniel was a little bit busy, so I did that. I dabbled in those a little bit. Story mode, it's like by King's last one, My Hero One Justice 2 was a slideshow. I mean, it's an anime game. I don't find too much in them needing to go out, recreate the anime into cutscenes just so as I can watch it again. And people are probably gonna end up skipping it anyways. So at the end of the day, you're student fights aren't so bad from what I can tell. And then the online the co-op mode in general, not just online. It's I mean, it's kind of like a stage of random maps, random enemies. You just kind of do stuff. It gets harder, difficulty based. Um, yeah. Outside of that, they're not too deep. I mean, the online co-op, you get XP, you can buy items to make the fights a little bit easier. But you want to get into online ranked and casual?
Yeah, so in my opinion, one of the only reasons that you're going to be playing Curse Clash is for the online multiplayer. Obviously, if you're playing the game, you've probably watched Jujutsu Kaisen, so the story mode will be kind of like just going over what you've already seen. But the multiplayer is where it really gets interesting because there isn't many multiplayer fighting games where it's just 2v2. Like For Honor, there's one, that's one, but this is like the only anime 2v2 fighting game. And I feel like there's a lot of different tactics you could bring into it because of all the different styles of characters. And just the styles of gameplay, like how you want to play. Um, but some people are saying some like negative things about the fighting itself, saying that like the combos are super repetitive or just the fighting itself is repetitive, but just play different characters. The
I mean,
matches last minimum 5 minutes or
say at
maximum
max.
5 minutes. Sorry,
Say
yeah,
the thing
maximum
is,
5 minutes.
there's that the problem with the combos and stuff isn't really a problem because the characters are so different and there's such long knockbacks and everything. You don't need crazy long combos in every anime fighting game outside of Dragon Ball Fighters. Combos are not that crazy. Storm, people love combos and they're crazy. Demon Slayer, they're repetitive. You just do the same thing, spam skills until the combo breaks up by itself, or they recover, or they escape. So it's people I think are just picking on things, small things to bicker over, but I'm not gonna say that they're completely wrong with their feelings. But if you want games like that, Tekken 8 just came out. Mortal Kombat 1 just came out. Go just go play those. You want long combos, and then the fighting style people are complaining about it being floaty. There's in the game two scale buildings. You want to try to scale a building with a normal human jump? I don't know what to tell you. It's
Mhm.
and I have seen some things about the roster size. People love Demon Slayer, and that roster size was, I'm pretty sure, smaller. May be around the same size, but 16 characters, and for how different they all are, this is kind of the roster. I think is bigger than what you could have expected with how different each character plays. And if you're getting bored with one character, it's hard to go from one character and hop over to another because they play so different. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think one of the issues with roster sizes is also that nobody wants to play some of the characters. Like me and Daniil have played quite a bit since its release. I've never ran into a Hanami. I've never ran into a Izo and Kachizo.
ran into my
I've
first
ran
tsunami
into
today.
like one or two Mahitos. Usually people are just playing Gojo and Sakuna, which
They
I
are
mean,
a
obviously
problem.
people are gonna play it, but in my opinion, they need a little bit of
They're too
nerfs.
canon. They are too canon.
Maybe not nerfs, just maybe balanced. You know?
Oh, hold on. When we're talking about characters, you can't. Nabara is good, but like she's not on the same tier as Gojo and Sukuna. I don't want to see it. Tired of. Yeah, no. Nabara is not that good. Some little Timmy was messaging us saying Nabara was just like some OP character. She's really not.
Yeah,
You play a good player. Anybody can make any character seem good if they're good enough at the game. And
yeah.
range
I made
characters are
Nabara.
always a problem. Zoners are always a problem for people
Mm,
because they just get annoyed with them. But I mean, it is what it is. Jogo
yeah,
is an even worse, is an even more annoying zoner because he refuses
yeah.
to get close. So
Yeah, since we started playing, I've been maining Nabara, like only playing Nabara. And there's definitely characters where it's like I can't fight them. Like Gojo's one of them because he can literally teleport to whoever he's fighting. And his attacks are insanely fast. Sukuna
oh, his
has hyper
basic
armor
is,
on every attack pretty much. So like
and he
it's just
teleports. His teleport I think has a little bit farther range as well.
yeah, it's just matchups. I mean, with any fighting game with multiple characters, it's just good matchups, bad matchups. I mean, like if I'm playing Nabara and I go up against a Yuji or something, I'll be fine because I can just range him and you know he can't really get to me. But
Toto's
I
the
feel like
ultimate range counter. You think about it because he can throw that rock and get in. And
mhm,
playing Toto is so hard though, just because you gotta remember so much with his kit. But
I feel like they need to fix him too. I
his
feel like
collapse,
most of the time it just doesn't
and there's
activate.
a really, it's the range is short, which is kind of done when Sukuna and Gojo can teleport damn near half the map.
Yeah,
So if they fix his range, you definitely want to pick a shorter map if you're using Toto. But
yeah,
on, yeah, and Yuta I thought was a problem at first, but if you really focus him more, it's gonna come out after the team loses 2 lives anyways. And by I'm making Rika, he can manifest Rika, and it gives his curse energy. It's always max, and then he uses alt, but once he uses alt, Rika's gone. So if you can get them down early, and you can get Rika out early, you're pretty much good because she's not going to be around long enough to take 4 lives, unless you guys are terrible at the game. But another issue people have with it is the knockback system. I touched on it a little bit, but you get knocked back very far, and you're
yeah.
down for a decent amount of time. But I mean, it is 2v2, so taking advantage of the person being down. I mean, we were getting annoyed with it at first, getting jumped, but we realized like, hey, this is how it's going to have to be played. So
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of fixing the knockback issue by having a lot of iframes, especially when you're getting up off the ground. Um, you have like maybe 2 seconds of iframes after being knocked down. Uh, and the big issue I have is when you actually die, like when you lose a life, you're down for like 10 seconds. It seems like you're just down forever, and your teammate has to 1v2 for as long as you're down.
and your meter
And then by
resets.
that time, your teammates across the map, so you get back up, and then you have to run across the map still to even get to your teammate to help them in the 1v2. But if you're playing someone like Gojo, then you can just teleport and it's fine. But
His teleport range is not that far. Sukuna's I think is a little bit farther, but yeah, we're on overpowered characters. I'd say those two are the only ones that really like just annoy me to fight. But I'm running Maki half the time, and to my knowledge, I don't know. I haven't seen no tier list. I've just kind of read some stuff online, like forums and online reviews about people
mm,
whining about the game. But I mean, I see some of their points, but I don't know if I've ever seen them complain about Nabarro. No, Gojo and Sukuna are the ones they need to complain about, but they're probably not because that's who they're using.
yeah,
So
yep.
they,
And I've seen a lot of people complaining and saying that like you shouldn't buy the game because it's bad, blah blah blah. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
it's an anime game.
You're you're playing an anime game, which it's notoriously known for not making the
They're
best
cash
games.
grabs.
Um, but it's also a 2v2 arena fighter. Like if you're buying the game as a solo person, not wanting to play with your friends, you can't really expect too much out of
It's
it.
gonna be
I
hard to
mean,
find like those randoms. I was playing with some randoms, and you get what you get when you play. It's any game you queue with randoms. But
yeah,
like you need a friend. Well, you don't need one,
yeah.
but
If you're looking for a fun game to play with a buddy, if you have spare time, or just a game to grind to try to get really good with your friend to hit some cool combos, especially if you're trying to play like Toto or some of the duo characters that have like the special team up
The joint
moves and
attacks.
stuff, then this game's perfect. I mean, it's just a fun arena fighter.
So if you like Jujutsu Kaisen, you like fighting games, you should give it a try. If you don't want to spend $60 on this, I mean, out of the last 4 or 5 video games I've bought, this is the one I've had the most fun on. Maybe I'm not buying good games, but that's up to me to decide ultimately. But I would say it's definitely worth the 60. But I spent 100 on it, so
Yeah, I spent the 100 too. It's a toss up for me on whether it's worth $60 or not.
well, I'm saying it's
Just
worth the
because
60 because it's not going to be any cheaper anytime soon.
yeah, yeah. It's just in my opinion, the content that it has right now, just because, they haven't released any characters and it just came out, $60 is pretty steep for it to release on. But look at any other game. There's every game is $60.
And the DLC is why I have some faith in it because My Heroes One Justice got some good DLC. They already announced that Hidden Inventory is going to get one, and Hidden Inventory is, well, Premature Death and Hidden Inventory. It's going to probably be Toji. I mean, it'd be a miss if it's anybody else. I don't think it could be anybody else. And then I think skins will probably be. There's a lot of cool outfits and skins for the characters. All of them have at least 3, I would say. Maybe except for the curses, they don't have as many. But
I would agree, but I feel like a lot of the skins are just recolors
well, I'm talking
of
about
different
individual
skins.
skins, and then yes, there's different colors
Yeah.
for those. Like Maki has her Jujutsu Kaisen 01, her sport wear when she was training with Megumi, I believe, and then her base one, and then Yuji has his first episode, the outro, Lost in Paradise outro for season 1, and then a couple others. So it's, I mean, I'm guessing that's where a lot of the DLC is going to come from,
Hmm.
because it's hard to develop characters. I'm assuming with how, I mean, each character is pretty deep, I would say, and they all fit a certain
Yeah.
playstyle. I would say that all of them are good for something. Like I haven't seen a lot of pandas. I'm kind of happy because Panda going gorilla mode is a problem because he can damage you when
I've
you're blocking, and he has hyper armor on every attack.
I've seen every character except for Hanami and Izu and Kachizo, and I feel like Izu and Kachizo are just not good.
I haven't seen them yet, but
Yeah, I tried them, and I feel like there's a reason they let you have two people because they're just not very good.
say you said you saw some stuff online about them complaining about some of the Kyoto school not being in. Let's just squash this now. I'm not looking forward to loading into a video game and playing as Miwa. I'm not.
Yep.
Same with Mai. She would probably just play somewhat similar to Nabara besides having the hairpin stacks and the voodoo doll stacks.
Hmm.
So basically like Jogo, you just run around, shoot, and call it a day. And if people have a problem with zoners, they do not want her in the game.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Noritoshi Kama is the only one I'd be interested in, but I'm hoping Choso is released. So
Yeah,
Noritoshi
he'd be
Kama
a lot of
wouldn't be
fun.
worth it because Choso is just him, but better.
Yeah, he'd be a fun kind of ranger character to play.
Yeah, because he also showed, like, because Guido has, as you've seen it in Premature Death and Hidden Inventory, he can throw hands, good in close combat, and then so they added that a little bit into his kit in the game. But he is basically is like a mid range zoner. So, but yeah, any characters you're excited like, because we both like the game, obviously, and we think that there's some potential if if there's a player base that sticks around. What characters would you be excited for if you had to pick like 1 or 2 from Shibuya?
Maharaga.
I was gonna say that too. Say, and we were talking.
Easily.
Say we were talking about it. That's why I knew he was gonna say it. Um, but his adaptability could be something like Rika. How Rika manifests after 2 deaths. If you kill him with a certain move, he adapts to it, and then it just does less. Or if you do a certain amount of curse techniques to him, then I don't know. I feel like King would find a way to make him work without it being too overpowered, or they might not care because Sukuna is in the game. So But mine would be Toji, probably Maharaga, and I wish we saw more from Yuki, but it'd probably be like Chozo, who they'd probably release.
Yeah, I feel like Chozo really fits the play style like of the game. He would fit really good into it.
Mm-hmm.
Maharaga, I'm not sure how
He's
they
like
would
a
do, but it would be dope to see him in there.
say he's like a 1v1 character in
Hmm.
2v2 game, but I think he'd be fine.
And Toji's gonna be in the game.
Oh yeah, that's the next DLC. I mean, I don't see them releasing any new character besides him, and then maybe like a different version of Guido. That's all I can predict because that was like the main of that arc.
Yeah,
Those
I'm
are
not
main
sure
characters.
how they would do a different form of Guido though, because they can't really change his moveset up much because they already have him using like
Have them use different
curses.
curses. I don't know. Add like a variant to them where it plays. I don't know. I don't want something that plays the same, but with their different curses coming out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that would be interesting. May. I mean, she's in there in a younger form. So maybe they just release her early, just so if they do plan on releasing two. I don't know how they did it in My Heroes One Justice exactly with the DLC cycle, but maybe it would be another one that'd be because you see more of her than a lot of other characters. So, but yeah, that's and Kenjaku, but he's just in Guido's body, so that also
Yeah.
carries the same. But we're just kind of going. I'm just running myself in circles. But yeah, anything else you want to add? I mean, we can score the game if you want, but say
I'd probably I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
I agree. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a bunch of fun on with the online with you. Frustrating
Yeah.
at times, but I mean, all video games are frustrating at times. We haven't really run into any bugs per se. People who play off McDonald's internet is like one of the most annoying things because the netcode is good, but it's only as good as whoever we're playing against as well. Because there was a game after I was playing with a random and somebody got kicked because they froze the game for that long. Oh yeah, and when people are kicked, I don't think they get punished anyway, but it just adds a bot in, and the bot kind of just doesn't.
Yeah,
Unlike For Honor, where a bot comes in and pieces you up.
one thing I forgot to mention that is a big negative for me is the lobby system. The
Yeah,
lobbies, when you're trying to do pre-made lobbies, are
if they
horrendous.
put you back into it after you leave, because so if you don't after the game, after the fight ends, you can rematch or you don't. If you rematch, it doesn't have any time amount limit on how much you can rematch. Like in Demon Slayer, you can rematch I think up to twice, but in this you can rematch as many times as you want. And if they leave, it sends you right to matchmaking. But if you say no, it creates the lobby for the person who was hosting originally. Says that the other person's joining, they don't join the lobby creates, so you gotta reinvite and everything. There either needs to be another thing that says back to matchmaking, or it just takes you back to the lobby.
Also, they need to add it to where if you want to rematch, you can rematch but reselect characters. Because right now, when you rematch, you have to play the same characters for everybody.
If they're making it so you can rematch an infinite amount of times, then yes, I agree. But in most fighting games, if you rematch, it's normally just those. You run a set of 3, and then normally you can't switch. So that part I'm not really mad at. But you don't play many fighting games, so
Yeah, but my only reasoning is because if you rematch somebody 5 times and you're like, bro, I know I can beat this guy, I just need to switch to like a different play style, you can't.
yeah. Because like if I'm playing Maki and I'm going against, because Maki has no range besides she throws a little knife that she freezes in place after throwing, and it doesn't stun them long enough. So if I'm playing as Maki, I probably don't want to be going up against like Jogo because it's hard to track him down and everything.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I would probably say 7.5, maybe an 8, just because I have enjoyed it a lot. So we differ there, but you're gonna see a lot of people, a lot of say, I just scrolling through YouTube, you see a lot of people just saying it's bad in their title and all that. And I mean, their opinion can't knock them, but right now I'm enjoying it and I'm excited to see what comes from it. So,
Mhm.
all right, we're hopefully planning to be more consistent in the future. Said that before, so
Yep.
take it with a grain of salt. But we do plan on being more consistent, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy. If you're returning, just say what's up. Still comment, say what's up. We always like having interactions in the comments. And then
we read every comment. So
yeah, if you want gameplay of us playing, I mean, we're all right. We're no fighting game pro player tournament winners.
we're
so
okay.
We'll try our best, but we like to have fun at the end of the day. So we might throw just to try to do something cool. But yeah, besides that, there's some Mugen that'll probably be popping up on the screen. Demon Slayer tier list as well. But yeah, anything you want to say?
Nope.
All right, see ya.
See ya.